Military profile leader, King Juba I of Numidia. King Juba was the king of Numidia from 60 BC to 46 BC. Juba's father was King Hempsel II, who had lost his kingdom due to several rebellions in Numidia, driving him and Juba out and forcing them to seek the aid of Rome. The Romans responded by sending Magnus Pompey to take back Numidia for Hempsel. During the campaign, Pompey and Juba became close political allies. Juba was sent on a diplomatic mission in 62 BC on behalf of his father to defend himself against a case brought forth by an African nobleman. This case was significant, as Julius Caesar was acting as praetor for the nobleman. Yet during the hearing, Juba and Caesar were arguing so fiercely that Caesar took it upon himself to chastise Juba by grabbing his long beard, an act that would forever lead to Juba hating Caesar. Juba's chance to finally strike back at Caesar came in 49 BC, with Caesar starting a civil war within the Roman Republic. Naturally, Juba sided with Pompey, making the Roman provinces and the kingdom of Numidia a safe haven for the Pompeian faction. Caesar sent an invasion force under the command of Gaius Scriponius Curo. Who landed in the Cape of Bon in August 49 BC with 2 legions. Pompey had stationed Publius Attius Varus as governor, while Juba was in the south of his kingdom, dealing with a minor revolt. As soon as Juba heard of Curo's invasion, he headed north to aid Varus. Juba had dispatched his commander, Subera, to ride on ahead with a detachment of Numidian cavalry. Whilst Juba was heading north, Curo had defeated Varus's army at the Battle of Utia. And was besieging him at the town. However, Curo received reports of Juba's movements and retreated back to his base camp. Juba, now knowing the enemy had retreated back, devised a plan to draw the Romans out, as meeting them in open battle was advantageous to his light troops. Juba's plan was to send false reports to Curo, detailing false intel about Juba's troop numbers. With this plan in motion, he orchestrated his greatest victory. The plan worked as Curo's rash nature got the better of him, and feeling a quick victory was only a few days away, Curo then ordered his army to force march towards Juba's incoming army. The two sides met at the Battle of the Bagration. The initial phase of the battle was even between both sides. However, Juba's plan was set into motion, and slowly his army began a feigned retreat, luring the Romans further into the desert, and slowly but surely wearing them down, before striking back at the exhausted troops. This strategy was highly effective, and soon enough the Romans were in full retreat, with Curo fighting to the last man on top of a hill until he was cut down. Any of Curo's Romans that tried to escape or join Varus's army were handed over to Juba, as he demanded them, and they were soon executed and put on display as an insult to Caesar. This defeat was a setback for Caesar, as North Africa became a safe haven for Pompey's allies after their defeat at the Battle of Pharsalus in 48 BC. Now moving forward to 46 BC, Juba is continuing his efforts to consolidate his hold over North Africa. However, Caesar has landed with a large army to defeat Scipio and Cato, the last Romans who opposed Caesar. Juba soon gathered his forces as he had anticipated Caesar's arrival and began to march towards Caesar's position. Yet Caesar had planned a secondary invasion of Juba's kingdom from the west, which was led by King Bocchus, king of Mauritania. Now facing an invasion from two fronts, Juba first chose to march back towards his capital city of Citra to face Bocchus. Yet while en route, Juba was convinced by the Roman general Scipio to send half his army to deal with Bocchus, under the command of Subra, and the other half to assist Scipio against Caesar. Unfortunately for Juba, the army under Subra was completely decimated, and Subra himself was killed in the fighting. However, Juba would not receive this news until after the Battle of Thapsus. As Juba arrived at the battlefield, he gave Scipio command of his troops. However, they were little help against the battle-hardened and fanatically loyal legionnaires that Caesar commanded. Juba's cavalry was easily routed by Caesar's cavalry, and soon enough his entire army melted away. After the Battle of Thapsus, Juba fled towards the city of Zama, but his own people would not let him enter the city for fear of reprisals from Caesar. Now left with a crumbling kingdom and no army to field, Juba's situation was hopeless, and after receiving the news about Subra, Juba consigned himself to his fate. Yet, he would not give Caesar the satisfaction of taking him alive. Juba made a suicide pact with a Roman general called Perius. The two then fought in a duel to the death. The outcome of who won the duel is unknown.